This is Generation Stadia, giving you that daily dose of everything and anything cloud gaming related, and today we're going to be doing a recap of Day 3 of Stadia's Good Stuff event. If you missed out on Day 1 and Day 2's recap, I'll be putting a link to them in the description below, and for those of you that don't know, we'll quickly go over all the announcements, and then I'll be giving you my personal thoughts at the end. And with all that out of the way, let's begin with the first announcement that was made. It was a brand new first on Stadia title called Young Souls. The game takes place with two teenagers named Jen and Tristan who find themselves suddenly abandoned and without a family. The trailer showcases that a scientist then brings them in and adopts them as his own. He then disappears and then they happen to find a portal leading to another world. And it happens to be that it jeopardizes life as we know it on Earth. The game will have you fighting as Jen and Tristan in both solo or co-op play. You'll get to customize your gear by unlocking hundreds of weapons, armors, and accessories. You'll have to take advantage of both worlds to their fullest to get ready for your next adventure. The game also features over 20 other bosses, 4 biomes, and a horde of enemies. Overall, it looks like a pretty cool dungeon crawling experience, and I'm looking forward to trying it out once it releases. Following that, another game was confirmed coming to Stadia, and that's Fenyx Point. This is a strategy game very much akin to the likes of XCOM. It's an over-the-top turn-based system, and I have to say it works pretty well. The game takes place in an Earth that's been overrun by a mutating alien menace, and you're in charge of Fenyx Point, a secret organization that has the best and bravest soldiers left on Earth to try and fight back. You'll get to choose from different factions to recruit new soldiers that all have their pros and cons. You'll have plenty of choices to make, such as equipping new gear as well as managing diplomatic relations. I will say the game actually looks fantastic graphically and the gameplay is fairly solid, and I should also note this is coming from the original creator of XCOM. Either way, it's great to see yet another strategy game coming to Stadia. After that was just a quick trailer for Baldur's Gate 3 showcasing that it's available on Stadia during early access, and then finally they covered the Immortals Fenyx Rising demo. Easily the most anticipated demo for most people of the 3 that got released, and I have to say it actually plays really well. I do want to note that if you complete the demo on Stadia, you will get an exclusive armor set for when the full game releases. As for the demo itself, well, it gives you a pretty good taste of what you can expect out of the game. If it wasn't clear to you already by the trailers, this game is heavily inspired by Breath of the Wild. Quite a few of the game mechanics really showcase that, and honestly, it's not a bad thing whatsoever because it plays great. The biggest difference between the two being the actual combat. It's much more relatable to Assassin's Creed Odyssey than it is Zelda. It's worth pointing out that the demo gives you a pretty large space to go and explore, and I'm sure there's a ton of hidden stuff just laying around. That said, start to finish, my total playthrough through the demo lasted about 40 to 45 minutes. It's a pretty good chunk of the game to get a hold of, and I'm glad this was one of the demos that they gave. And now let me give you my personal thoughts on Day 3 of the Good Stuff event. My honest opinion is that this day kinda felt lacking. Other than the Immortals Fenyx Rising demo, there wasn't really all that much that hyped me up. That's not a knock on Fenyx Point or Young Souls for that matter. I actually am looking forward to playing Young Souls quite a lot. But neither of these two announcements really struck me as a major announcement. Yesterday, Ark kinda saved the day because it's a game many people are excited for. It's a well-known title and I know a lot of people out there want to give it a shot. Young Souls looks fantastic and I personally want to play a dungeon crawling game like it, but I don't think it speaks to the casual audience. But at the very least, it's a new game coming to Stadia and it happens to be first on Stadia as well. There's certainly more positives to this game being announced than negatives, but it just happens to be not something I think a lot of people will be excited for. The good thing about Fenyx Point is that it's yet another strategy game being announced for Stadia. That's a genre that's sorely missing titles inside the Stadia library, so the more we get, the better. Its XCOM-like gameplay is also very welcome. That said, the game's been out for quite some time on PC, and it's been reviewed kind of mixed. There's really not a whole lot of people talking about the game, and it really didn't make that big of a splash. It would have been better to see a game like XCOM 2 be brought over than something that's trying to surpass it but ultimately not reaching the same height. And now I want to go over the fact that they actually showcased the trailer for Baldur's Gate 3 Early Access. I know some people out there are probably upset that this was shown, but it was a pretty good idea to do so. On one hand, if you're a Stadia user already, you know Baldur's Gate 3 is on Early Access. It's one of the bigger games to arrive to the platform, and you may be questioning why they wasted time showing it again. On the other hand, this showcase was more about getting more eyes on Stadia and getting people to try it out for free. It's probably why they decided to stagger these announcements and demo releases over 3 days. Showing Baldur's Gate 3 is on Stadia during this event is information to those new to Stadia, because that's a big enough name for people to recognize. Now lastly, let's go over the Immortals Fenyx Rising demo. This is easily the biggest announcement of the 3 days, and having this demo on Stadia is a really good look. I've already seen plenty of people who swore Stadia off actually logging in to try out this demo due to the interest this game has. Better yet, I'm seeing many of those people say that they had a really positive experience playing the game on Stadia. This is by far the best marketing that Stadia has ever had, period. I'm a very firm believer that those who doubt the tech that Stadia is running need to just try it to see for themselves. And this is by far the best and easiest approach they've ever made for getting people to try it out. All they ask is for you to have a Gmail account and to accept some terms of service, and you're right there. Now, Immortals Fenyx Rising isn't the biggest game in the world, but it's big enough to get some attention, and that's where it matters. While having the Humankind beta and the Pac-Man demo is a neat addition, it's really not the main attraction. All in all, I do think the Stadia Good Stuff event was just okay, and I personally would have preferred it all in one Stadia Connect. But I say that as someone who's already invested in the platform. While the demos are cool and all, I already know Stadia works, and I'm not going to be amazed by the fact that I can play it on the go. That said, if I were someone new who hasn't tried Stadia out, this would be much more exciting. And ultimately, I think that's who was being targeted with this Good Stuff event. But those are just my thoughts, so let me know yours in the comment section below. Now if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful at all, be sure to hit that like button as it really does help the channel out. And if you're wanting more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell as well. Today's end of video question is going to be asking you what your favorite announcement was of this Good Stuff event and which demo is your favorite of the 3. Now for those wondering about the tweet that's currently got Stadia trending #1 in the US, I will be discussing it in a separate video, so stay tuned for that. Till then, thank you for watching. This has been Generation Stadia, giving you that daily dose of everything and anything cloud gaming related. The Gen S community is over 5,100 strong and growing by the day, and until next time, I'll catch you in the clouds.